Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Coffee and Crypto. My name's Don. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching today's video. If you are watching it live, good morning. I hope you have your coffee at the ready like I do. I have a great episode, good bit of news to get through, and some interesting news coming from SwissBorg that I want to update you on as well. So yes, stay tuned, chill, relax, get comfortable. Let's jump straight into what's going on. So, first things first, of course, if you haven't already become a member of our CC Pro Discord community, then you can click the link in today's description to find out more on that, and of course, jump on board if you haven't already. Now, let's look at the prices. We always start with the top 10 in the crypto market. Now, surprisingly, we have seen, a bit of movement. Not much. We have seen a slight kind of move in the crypto prices, which of course is lovely to see, as much as it's maybe not as much as what some people want it to be. The Bitcoin price currently sits at $25,933. We then have Ethereum at $1,589. We then have BNB at $210, XRP at 47 cents, then Cardano at 24 cents, Dogecoin at 0.06, Solana at $18, and then finally Tron at 0.08. So, yet again, not a huge amount of price action. We did see a little bit of a pump yesterday in the price, but yeah, much like we have seen the past month almost, we really have not done much exciting movements since then. But anyway, that's fine. Like I said yesterday, on Monday's stream, should I say, it's September. It's a tough month. You'll get through it. Prices are not going to be doing all that kind of much this month, unfortunately. But go back and watch Monday's video if you haven't already to get the point I was trying to make. Now, a few things I want to cover. First of all, it's just a bit of an update from Monday's video on the Vitalik Buterin's kind of hack that happened. I did go off in one on Monday for this kind of part, but yeah, apparently it is confirmed that it was a SIM swap. So again, I won't dive into this too much because I did do a full kind of breakdown on this, but essentially the Ethereum's co-founder, we all know him, Vitalik, had his X or Twitter profile hacked kind of last week at some point, and unfortunately some people did lose out by clicking a fraudulent link, which in my opinion, again, I'm trying not to go into it too much, but in my opinion, if you are falling for these types of scams, especially from Vitalik, he's never going to offer you some sort of free airdrop or free NFT or anything like that. It's just not what he's supposed to do. So go back, like I said, watch Monday's video just to get a bit of an update on that. But essentially, they have confirmed that here it says, finally got my T-Mobile account back. Yes, it was a SIM swap, meaning that someone socially engineered T-Mobile itself to take over my phone number. Now, that's pretty interesting. So it says, a phone number is sufficient to password reset a Twitter account, even if you've not used a 2FA, he said, adding that users can completely remove a phone from Twitter. I had seen the phone numbers are insecure, don't authenticate with them, advice before, but did not realise this. So again, look, it's a really important thing in crypto to look into how you can stay safe. We talk about it all the time. People unfortunately don't prioritise it because they think they're fine because they have a cold wallet or whatever it may be, but you need to ensure you've got things like two-factor authentication. You need to make sure you've got a VPN, for example. If you haven't got a VPN, by the way, there is a link in today's description, which is an ExpressVPN affiliate link. You can click that, get a VPN, secure your phone, your laptop, whatever it may be. I highly, highly suggest I don't even know how much it is. It's like a couple of pounds a month. Sorry, it's really, really cheap. It saves you from any type of hack or potential kind of scam or anything. But anyway, like I said, click the link below and you'll find out more on that. But staying safe is super important. Investing in crypto is the easy part. Taking the profit and actually making sure that you're safe are the two hard parts that no one really seems to focus on for some weird reason. No one in life, not just crypto, but no one in life seems to be proactive. Everyone seems to be reactive, and there needs to be a switch. especially when it comes to security. All right. So anyway, that's my little note on that. Just thought I'd update you with the Vitalik news. Now, one big thing I wanted to talk about today is, of course, an ETF. Now, we haven't spoke about ETFs on the channel for about 2 weeks, which I think is a record. But another trillion-dollar asset company has filed for a Bitcoin ETF. So I want to jump into this and just talk a little bit more in detail. And is it really a good thing for crypto? Well, let me try and explain that for you. So, the $1.5 trillion asset manager company Franklin Templeton files for a US Bitcoin ETF. Fantastic. But who are Franklin Templeton? So, in a move that further legitimizes Bitcoin in the institutional finance, the global investment giant Franklin Templeton filed a regulatory Form S1 with the US SEC on Monday, seeking approval for a spot Bitcoin ETF. Now, the development comes at a time when the race to launch the first US spot Bitcoin ETF is hotly contested, with entrants including incumbents from Fidelity or BlackRock, as well as upstarts like Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, so GBTC. We've spoken about that quite a lot recently as well. If you are a CC Pro member, you know exactly what that is. And actually, if you're a CC Pro Alpha member, you'll know exactly why I am speaking about GBTC, because there was a lot of GBTC trades posted about a month or so ago in the CC Pro Alpha section, which did really, really well. Hopefully you took note and followed along. Now, Franklin Templeton managing approximately 1.5 trillion, so that's trillion with a T, not a billion, not a million, $1 trillion in assets, is looking to capitalise on the growing demand for Bitcoin investments. Their proposed ETF, if approved, would provide investors with more accessible and regulated means to gain exposure to the world's largest cryptocurrency. Now, the filing outlines plans for Franklin Templeton Digital Asset Trust, very long name, which aims to track the performance of Bitcoin, much like the other kind of ETFs. Several other investment firms have submitted similar application in recent years, but none have yet, of course, been received the kind of SEC approval, which personally I think will happen February, March, April time of 2024. I've said it many, many times now on this channel. So yeah, let's hope we can come back in that time and, well, watch back these videos and see if I was right or I was wrong. And I hope that you will correct me or you will congratulate me, depending on how that goes. But still, over the past few years, Bitcoin has garnered attention as a store of value and a hedge against inflation, obviously then driving institutions to diversify their portfolios. So, I guess the big news here being yet again, another $1 trillion asset management company has filed for a Bitcoin ETF. So, it goes back to a few points that I've made before, where if you think that a $1 trillion asset management company, so a company that has obviously built up massive amounts of, trust in the market, is getting involved in Bitcoin, but you believe that you shouldn't be getting involved in Bitcoin, well, maybe they know something that you don't. Anyway, I'll leave it at that, and I'll move on to the next part of today's news. So, this one's quite important as well. So, coming from Ripple, again, it's quite an obvious one, but let me jump into it and explain it. So, the US, now the only countries crypto startups should avoid, says Ripple CEO. Now, Brad Garlinghouse says that Singapore, the UK, the UAE, and Switzerland are jurisdictions with smart crypto policies that he thinks the US should adopt. Now, the US is one of, if not the worst place to launch a cryptocurrency startup in the world right now, according to the Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse. Now, obviously, we all know who that is. He has been in a legal battle with Ripple versus the SEC for, 2.5 years, almost 3 years at this point. So I think he knows a little bit on, issues that the US have. Now, the only country I would not encourage you to start a company right now is in the US. Garlinghouse said this on September 12th at a Singapore kind of token meeting. Now, the Ripple boss wants the US to take note from the likes of Singapore, the UK, the UAE, and Switzerland by enticing, or no, that's not the right word, enacting policies that encourage crypto innovation while protecting consumers. Now, Garlinghouse pointed that the blame with the SEC, obviously, claiming that it was engaging in a political war with the industry. Now, that lawsuit strategy isn't working, said Garlinghouse, and claimed Ripple and Grayscale's court wins over the SEC may suggest the court's mood is turning in the industry's favour. Now, I think you're seeing the momentum shift. I think that it used to be that a lot of judges were like, well, the SEC is always right, and they weren't fighting that. But I think you're starting to see a pattern change, which, again, I truly kind of agree with that as well. We're now starting to see the SEC lose more than they win, which is obviously what we need to see. Now, while the outcomes in the Ripple and Grayscale aren't legally binding, Garlinghouse said the results provide more clarity to crypto exchanges and custody providers operating in the US, at least for now. OKX President Hong Fang acknowledged that the policies at play, but stressed for crypto firms to focus on what they can control. We can only control what we control, which is to build the right product, to focus on the technology, and to support responsible regulation. Despite the US being a big market for Ripple, Garlinghouse said it's expanding services to countries he claims that are more progressive and better understand the potential the potential benefits of blockchain technology. Now, again, like I said before I went into this article, it is pretty obvious. We know that the US is the worst place for any kind of startup company. But yeah, good to see that Brad Garlinghouse is openly speaking about this in Singapore and obviously at a public kind of blockchain event. So yeah, very well done, Mr. Brad Garlinghouse. Hopefully people take notice of it, however. Now, one thing I wanted to jump into now is a little bit of a breakdown on SwissBorg. Now, of course, you may have seen, or hopefully you have seen this, but SwissBorg tweeted this out saying that big savings alert, we've slashed Thematic's monthly subscription fees by up to 43%. Plus, you can enjoy a 40% lower card top-up fees for Community, Pioneer, Generation and Genesis Premium. So, I'm going to actually read a little bit more in detail on this because, for me, again, big fan of SwissBorg, and SwissBorg are, of course, a supporter of the channel and Coffee and Crypto. So I wanted to try and explain the power of thematics. We've spoken about them so many times in the past, and we obviously discussed this quite a lot in Discord, but because they have now discussed kind of lower fees and higher value, I wanted to dive into it in a little